Hello and welcome to the Be Glad movement. My name's Pollyanna and I'm on a mission to bring you as many stories as possible of good coming out of bad and reasons to be glad. And today I'm joined by Julia. I've hijacked Julia a little bit, bless her, because she didn't realise we were going to be recording. So yeah, I'm going to be very kind and let Julia tell her story. So Julia, say hi.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Greetings from Denver, Colorado.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sorry that I didn't communicate well enough what we were doing today. You're such a good sport, so thank you. Thank you for, because it's only like what, 7:30 in the morning for you guys over there.
7:30, not bad. I'm a morning person, so it's good.
Good, you're looking fresh. So Julia, I'm going to just sort of get out of the way and let you tell your story, and so you dive straight in.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Polly. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I am a little bit nervous just because, I'm new to sharing a lot about myself, and it's really proved fruitful. So thank you for the opportunity. I grew up very confident, ambitious. Like, my dad gave me a world of confidence as a young kid. He told me I could do anything, and but at the end of that sentence was always like, if you work hard, right? You can do anything you want if you put the time and the effort in, if you really work hard. So I always equated success with hard work.
Sure.
And I was a very ambitious kid, super just a curious kid, very adventurous, was always sort of the life of the party. I was a cheerleader in high school, always doing gymnastics and tumbling down the hallways, so to speak. And I just was always on achieve, like trying to please my dad and go for all the big successes. And he grew up in a very small town and really made a big successful life for himself. So I always knew that was possible for me. I grew up in rural southern Utah, and a no-name town, went to a no-name college, and nothing was going to stop me because I had that confidence instilled in me in such a young age. And I kind of had tunnel vision. I always like ran my own path. I didn't care what other people were doing for the most part, although that came in probably later in the story, but I was always just blazing my own trail, but almost to a detriment of setting myself apart or separate or isolating from people, because I kind of felt like I was 2 steps ahead all the time. And for better or for worse, I think that as partly my parents, kept telling me how amazing I was and how smart I was and how great I was. And so I would just achieve more and achieve more. But maybe I did think I was separate and apart from people. I'm not sure. But I was just on this constant track for striving, and went off to college, got a master's degree, went to work at a great big firm, thought I had it all, super successful in this big corporate job, and in finance.
Okay.
Which finance doesn't really match the young Julia, right? Like the playful, adventurous, fun-loving, free-spirited, young at heart Julia, like going into finance and sitting in a cubicle. And I lost my identity all these years working in the corporate world. But I didn't recognize that then. I was just pushing, going for more money, the next promotion. In the midst of...
Out of interest, what did your dad do? How come finance was the route?
He's an attorney, and I always thought I had to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a Wall Street executive.
Okay.
to be successful and important.
Right.
So I grew up with that belief. And right before I was graduating from college, I was in a really bad car accident. In a 5-car pileup on the freeway. Sorry, I didn't think
Take your time, take your time.
That was, looking back on it, like at the time I didn't think it was a big deal because I was just so bulletproof. I thought like nothing could stop me, and literally nothing did. I was with 2 of my guy friends. We were on a road trip to go down south to see our other friends at a college party, my boyfriend and his girlfriend, and the car was completely mangled, totaled. In fact, I went in the ambulance, and because they couldn't even get me out of the car, and I had whiplash so bad. I was like stuck in the car. By the time the paramedics got me out of the car, I still didn't know where I was or who I was with and where we were going because I was hurt and in shock and had, pain. We were such young, dumb kids. We ended up swapping out cars and still going down to the party, which was another 2.5 hours away in a snowstorm.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, this is a 5-hour road trip, and just looking back on it thinking, God, we were just such idiots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But young, dumb college kids, that's what we do. I was terrified to tell my mom of what happened because I knew she'd be so upset, and she was, and still to this day, she's still upset about it.
Right.
I was always criticized so much by her, and only because she loves me so much and wants the best for me, but just very like critical and perfectionism my whole life. And anyway, this is scattered. There's a lot to fit in. We still went to the party, went down there, and I was really, really sore the next day. Still didn't think much of it. We were kind of laughing. We were partying. We were whatever. Didn't think much of it until a few months later when the pain really started coming into my neck and my shoulder. And it started intensifying greatly. And so fast forward 10 years of chronic pain, working in the corporate world, drinking myself to death, like partying. First it started with a lot of binge drinking, typical 20s partying. And then it turned into a lot of alone drinking and just always turning to the booze to numb the pain in my neck. And especially on work days when I would get home because I'd be in so much pain from being at the computer and all that stress. Well, I had blamed this car accident all those years. And while the car accident may have had something to do with it, I've learned later on that, it's those stories that we cling on to. It's the stories and the belief that I told myself all these years, and all the doctors that I went to try to fix me, like fix the issue, let's fix it. I was just chasing doctor after doctor after doctor, all these appointments, all these modalities, tried every modality under the sun, and could never quite get to the root of it. So it was just my story. Like, this is me. I have pain, but it still never stopped me. I was just always burning the candle at both ends. I was extremely successful, ambitious. I was a fitness junkie. I did it all. I still do, only hopefully I've toned it down a lot.
Right.
And after trying every natural thing from acupuncture to dry needling to chiropractic to massage, you name it. I tried everything before I tried pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, so much guilt and shame because I'm now, on a path where I'm just realizing that I've been missing my life.
Sure.
And
Okay.
like searching for all these external fixes when really it's everything's here to help me heal. And how I kind of came about my huge wake-up call, which was not really the car accident. It was in 2012, which some of you may know 2012 was a very tumultuous year for a lot of people. And I had gone in for an injection in my cervical spine in my neck. An epidural injection is what they call it, which sounds so scary. I'm like, epidural? Like, I don't even like that term, in my neck, you know? But I was desperate. I was so desperate for relief because I couldn't even get through my days. And after I got home from the appointment, my friend had dropped me off, and I'd actually had cortisone shots before, but nothing to this extent where you actually have to go under in the anesthesia and everything. And you're not supposed to be alone after these appointments. You're supposed to be watched for at least 12 to 24 hours. You shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't be doing anything but lying down. My friend picked me up from the appointment, dropped me off. He's like, are you sure you're going to be okay? I can come upstairs. I lived in a high-rise condo building, brand new place. And I said, oh, no, I'll be fine. You have to work. Like, I felt bad because I knew he had to go to work. Like, I didn't want to have him take a day off work. So I go upstairs. I'm working. I'm emailing. I'm answering phone calls. Like, heaven forbid I take a day off work after I had an injection in my neck. And I just moved into this brand new place. I had boxes everywhere. I hadn't even settled into this new condo. And all of a sudden I started getting nauseous. And I'm like, oh shoot, I haven't eaten yet, because you can't eat or drink before you go to those appointments. I haven't eaten. I haven't drank anything. Like, I'm hungry. Where's the doctor's notes? You know, I had to find the instructions to make sure I was following them. And that was the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember, I woke up and I was lying flat on my hardwood floor. I had fainted and hit my head so hard on my hardwood floor that I was completely unconscious. And when I came to and realized where I was, because at first I didn't even recognize where I was, because this was a new condo. I'd only lived there 2 weeks. And I saw the pendant lights up above my counter, my kitchen bar, and I was like, I remembered. And then I remembered the doctor's appointment, and I remembered the shot. And I came to, and I just started bawling. And then the pain in my neck and my jaw and my neck, I felt like my neck was broken. And so then I freaked out, like something bad had happened. The doctor did something wrong with the shot. And I was just terrified. I finally got up and went to like grab my phone. Couldn't even stand up because I was so dizzy. Couldn't read the numbers on my phone because the words are so blurry. Like, I can't, my vision is blurred. Oh, it was just the most horrifying moment. And I crawled to my neighbor's house. Luckily, she was home on a Friday midday. I'd only met her once. I knocked on the door. She's like, oh my goodness, you know, what's wrong? She helped me get the phone numbers for the doctor because I couldn't see my phone. She had to look it up on my phone. Luckily, I had his number in there. And, you know, we called him. He said, you need to get to the hospital, EKG, CAT scan, all of it. So we went to the ER. We did all of that. Nothing was wrong with the actual injection. I just had a concussion. And it was severe enough that they were really concerned. And I thought, okay, I'll take a little time off work and then I'll be fine. So I stayed home the following week and went back to work. And I wasn't fine at all. The computer screens, the lights, the noises, the headsets, the stress with the work environment, because I work in such a cutthroat, high-stress, demanding environment.
Sure.
And I wasn't well, and I was medicating. I was doped up on all of the migraine meds. I've never had a migraine in my life until this, and I was like, wow, now I know what people with migraines go through. I've had a lot of the pain here, but never like the migraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just powering through, because that's what I know how to do, right? I just push. That's my personality. I don't need your help. I got this.
Yeah.
And finally, some good friends and my coworkers like had an intervention with me, and they said, Julia, you're slurring your words on phone calls. You're not well. You need to take time off work.
Sure.
And that terrified me. Like, what do I have without my job? That's my identity. What if I lose my job? You know, I was so like attached. And luckily I had a great friend who is an attorney, and she said the FMLA has to protect you. Don't worry, you will have a job. Of course, the second I went in to tell my boss, he knew what was coming. He knew exactly what I was going to tell him, and he was like, no problem. I mean, I'm so fortunate to have such a great work environment at that time for them to say, take your time off. And, you know, that's one good thing about working in a big firm is you get paid and you can take the time, and
Right.
for the most part, hopefully they'll take care of you, but
And I'm guessing
not without a lot of expense leading up.
right. But I'm guessing that they recognize that you're a really hard worker and a valuable part of the team as well, you know?
Yeah, and I've since learned that lesson too more and more other stories. Anyway, I was only supposed to take a 6-week leave of absence. I ended up taking 12, and it was the best 12 weeks of my life. I learned so much about myself. It was when I had dabbled in yoga, but I hadn't really fallen in love with like real yoga and spiritual therapeutic yoga.
Yeah.
And the messages and the lessons that yoga teaches us. And that was just one thing that came out of those 12 weeks. So many other things. I learned to walk, I learned to love walking because that was all I could do. I had to give up running and all the crazy gym stuff and, all the hardcore stuff. And it was amazing, the lessons I learned, and the help and the love and the support of friends bringing me meals. I remember a friend brought me, my friend Sue, all of these frozen meals in little Tupperwares, all labeled for me. Like some of the lasagnas had a little packet of the shredded cheese with it too. So all I had to do was sprinkle the cheese on top of it after I took it out of the microwave. It was just like amazing what came out of willing to raise my hand and say, I need help. I'm not well. And I don't know what's going to happen here, but I have to step away and take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back after the 12 weeks, it was like I hadn't skipped a beat. It was like, the first day was kind of wonky and everyone's like, welcome back, so glad to have you. Of course, all the love. But then the next day it was just right back in the throw of things. Like what you realize is that, and same goes for just taking a vacation, like the corporate world doesn't stop. They don't even know you're missing. And not because they don't care and love you. It's because they got to keep going. They got a business to run. And you're not like all important. You think you're so important, the world's going to fall down if you step away.
Right.
And that's not how it works. If you've done your job and created a good, solid team and taught them and led them, everything works beautifully when you step away and give, other people that chance to step up.
Right.
So there's just so many learning lessons, and, I could go on and on, but we'll try to keep this somewhat short. A year later, I went on to finally giving up the booze, which turned into the best thing I've ever done. I just had my 5-year sobriety anniversary.
Wow, well done.
And that was, hands down, it wasn't even the car accident or the concussion. It was when I made that step to really, because during the time that I had that time away from on the leave, you know, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing those things, I wasn't stressed out, and I wasn't in a lot of pain, funny enough. And then when I went back to work on April 1st, it was only about a month in when I got right back to my old ways.
Okay.
Burning the candle at both ends, push, 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 and medicating with the booze. So that was April 1st of 2013. September 1st of 2013 is the day I said no more.
Wow.
And what's happened in those 5 years is a completely, that's for 5 other podcasts. That's where my blog's going to come in. I've just recently started my blog, and I can't wait to start writing all of my stories and all the lessons I've learned. But the pain and I still deal with the chronic pain still to this day, but I'm working through it, and it's definitely been my biggest messenger and my greatest lesson and gift in helping me on this path. Had I not had the pain in the first place, I'd never be on this journey that I'm on today, and met all these incredible people like yourself. And, you know, I just can't even imagine where I'd be.
Oh, Julia, I'm so glad that you had those 12 weeks to experience that love. You know, that my grandpa told me that you shouldn't deny people the gift of giving, and you need to be open to help. And I'm so glad that you were forced into experiencing it, really, but now it sounds like you're much more open to the idea of slowing down and
yeah, I'm a newly certified yoga teacher now.
Wow, that's very cool.
I work at home. I'm still doing corporate work, which I love, but I get to do it at home. And, you know, I'm just slowly creating the life of my dreams.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you're saying that you're now creating the life of your dreams because you've experienced trying to live up to other people's standards.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And I'm excited about that you're going to be writing a blog. So I don't know if you've got your website and things like that up and running yet, but whenever they are ready, I'll definitely share them at the end of this video so that people can follow along, because I'm sure you're not the only one that has been brought up thinking that they need to smash it every day and be the best and, you know, work harder to be a success, and haven't allowed themselves to jump off of the treadmill.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny you say the gift of receiving. I just posted my very first blog last night, but it wasn't even on a real blog yet because I don't even have it set up yet. It was on my Facebook page,
Right.
And it was on the gift of vulnerability. I'm not even joking.
Oh, wow.
Literally less than 24 hours ago.
Oh, wow. There we go. And I'm sure, I mean, I know it's still first thing in the morning. I reckon you're probably going to go and check that, and there'll be people that have reached out to you already because they're probably suffering in their own silence, and just like you were, self-numbing with the alcohol. So yeah, you're being very brave, and it gives other people the opportunity to. It helps them pluck up their own courage to make the changes that they need to make. So I salute you, and I thank you for being so brave and sharing your story. And I know it's going to help somebody else, more than one person, I'm sure. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, it's kind of it's hard to, like, there's so many thoughts and twists and turns to, like, the whole journey, and I think that's what I'm trying to work on now, is just like journaling and writing and getting it outside of me, because there's so much to say. And once you start sharing, you realize it's not really that scary if you just, because I would never be where I'm at had all these other people not shared with me and like given me that chance to be like, oh yeah, me too, you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you like this video, do please hit the like and subscribe button, and you'll get notifications when new videos are uploaded. You can follow on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. If you search @BeGladMovement, you'll be able to find us and follow on. If you have a story that you'd like to share, please do get in touch, even if it's something similar to what somebody else has shared, because I really do believe your story and your voice has the ability to help someone in their time of need. And I will look forward to seeing you in another episode. Many thanks.